Water is essential for life on Earth. As such, it is featured in many religions as sacred. Water, particularly rainfall, is often seen as a blessing from gods and deities, while droughts are a punishment. Water is also seen as cleansing and can be a righteous destructive force, as evidenced by the many flood myths and legends worldwide. Given the importance of water in general, what makes some water holy, and why do some religions have this kind of water? While Christianity is the religion that will spring to many people's minds when thinking about holy water, many other faiths incorporate the concept of sacred or spiritually purifying water. In fact, most pre-Christian pagan religions had a cleansing ritual involving a sacred spring or other body of water. As one of the four basic elements, water has been central to human belief systems since the concept of spirituality. Many pre-Christian sacred springs were Christianized, with clergy members blessing the spring in the name of Jesus. In this way, any ritual or belief associated with the spring would technically be Christian rather than pagan. Hinduism, which is generally regarded as the oldest religion in the world, holds water to be sacred, and this element has been worshipped in India since before recorded history. For Hindus, as well as later religions, water was the ability to cleanse the soul and the spirit, as well as the body. For Hindus, the Ganges is considered to be the holiest of rivers, and so the water of the Ganges is considered to be holy water. Holy water is also used in Buddhist traditions, although they refer to it as blessed water. In some areas, the water is purified by monks, who recite specific chants over the water. Other Buddhist traditions include a ceremony where a candle is burned and extinguished above the water. All four basic elements are represented in this ritual, with the candle symbolizing earth, air, and fire. In Sikhism, holy water comes from the pool surrounding Harmandir Sahib, one of the most sacred sites in Sikhism. The pool is believed to have restorative powers and purifies a person's karma. Sikhs have a baptism ceremony called Amrit Sanskar, which uses holy water. The Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, hold holy water as a religious symbol, albeit in different ways. In Judaism, ritually bathing in water was used to cleanse the body and be closer to God. Many Jewish communities had a custom-built ritual bath called a mikveh, which was naturally refreshed and contained hundreds of liters of water. But the best water to cleanse and purify is living water, like lakes and rivers. This should come as no surprise to anyone who knows about John the Baptist, a Jewish preacher who practiced on the banks of the Jordan River. Many laws of ritual purification lost their relevance after the destruction of the Second Temple of Jerusalem in 70 CE. However, traditionally observant Jews still practice ritual bathing, and males bathe every Friday in the preparation for the Sabbath as well as before major festivals. For women, the use of the mikveh is required before their wedding, after childbirth, and following menstruation. During a mikveh, it is believed that you are completely connected with God and should have nothing between you and the water, not even nail polish. In Islam, the water of the Zamzam well in the mosque of Masjid-al-Haram in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, is considered blessed and holy. According to Islamic tradition, the Prophet Ibrahim took his wife and son to Mecca, following the orders of Allah. They took some dates and water with them, but soon these ran out in the dry and barren land. Ibrahim's son, Ismail, cried out with thirst, causing his mother, Hagar, to run up and down the hills of Safa and Marwa 7 times, hunting for a water source. Frustrated, Ismail kicked at the ground, and Hagar noticed water start to flow from the spot. She carefully collected it to drink, and the water that gushed forth became the blessed water of Zamzam. Zamzam water is said to curb hunger pains, improve eye problems, prevent dental cavities, fortify the immune system, and fulfill the prayers of pilgrims. While many faiths use water for religious purposes, Christianity is most commonly associated with holy water. However, during Jesus' lifetime, water was considered purifying, but it was not holy water. Today, holy water is defined as water that a clergy member has blessed, and it usually has salt added to it. The salt is said to be added in imitation of the Israelite prophet Elijah, who purified and healed the waters of Jericho by throwing salt into the spring. In the past, both the salt and water had to be exorcised first on the grounds that the fall of Satan reverberated throughout all material creation, causing even lifeless elements to contain sin. Nowadays, a priest usually makes the sign of the cross over it at Mass, blessing the water. But how and why did Christianity develop the use of holy water? Many believe the Christian concept of holy water comes from the ancient Greeks and Romans. These ancient cultures had sacred springs and water sources at temples that were considered holy once the temple torch was extinguished in the water. While it is not exactly known when these traditions emerged, many attribute the use of holy water and the addition of salt to Pope Alexander I from the 2nd century CE. It is thought to have been introduced to supplant the ancient Jewish tradition of men washing their hands before praying. However, there is no written evidence of either of these theories. Among the first historical mentions of the use of holy water comes from the prayer book of the Egyptian bishop Serapion and the Testamentum Domini. Both of these texts contain a blessing of oil and water that was used during Mass. The Pontifical of Serapion dates from the mid-300s CE, and the Testamentum Domini is a set of early Christian writings initially written in Greek in the 4th or 5th century. The blessing invokes the name of Jesus, which imbibes the water with the power to heal. Another early mention of holy water in conjunction with Christianity is in the Apostolic Constitutions, the most extensive surviving collection of ecclesiastical law from early Christianity. Historians believe that these constitutions were written around 380 CE in Syria, and that the first 6 of the 8 books were adapted from an earlier Syrian text. These texts attribute the use of holy water to the Apostle St. Matthew, one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ. From the 4th century, various writings mention the use of sacred water that has been purified by a public blessing, or that has been blessed by a holy person, such as a saint. However, for water to take on the healing powers of Jesus, the person conducting the blessing did not always have to be a clergy member. At the end of the 4th century, the Bishop of Salamis in Cyprus, named Epiphanius, recorded an incident at Tiberias in Israel, where a man named Joseph healed a madman by making the sign of the cross over some water and invoking the name of Jesus before pouring water on the man. Joseph was also reportedly able to use this method to overcome witchcraft. Other sources also cite that making the sign of the cross over water sanctified it and gave it healing properties. The practice soon spread to the West, and Bishop Gregory of Tours, who lived in the 6th century CE, recounts a tale of a hermit who cured a form of malaria by giving infected people a drink of water that he had blessed. In some places, baptismal water was considered especially powerful, as it was thought to be free from all corruption. In many Christian churches, baptismal water was kept by the church entrance so it could be sprinkled on the churchgoers as they arrived. By the 9th century, holy water was integral to the Christian faith, and Pope Leo IV ordered priests to bless water every Sunday. Archbishop Hincmar of Reims described the order. Every Sunday, before the celebration of Mass, the priest shall bless water in his church, and for this holy purpose he shall use a clean and suitable vessel. The people, when entering the church, are to be sprinkled with this water, and those who desire may carry some away in clean vessels so as to sprinkle their houses, fields, vineyards, and cattle, and the provender in which these last are fed, as also to throw over their own food. A Byzantine legal scholar in the 1100 CE recorded that the Greek Church made their holy water at the start of each lunar month, which may have been devised in order to convert pagans who held a feast of the new moon, supplanting the old beliefs with Christian rites. This use of holy water to convert pagan traditions was not new, as Pope Gregory, who lived in the late 6th century CE, had recommended leaving pagan sites standing but sprinkling them with holy water to officially convert their use from the praise of pagan deities to the worship of God. Christian holy water is linked to various myths and legends, including a modern link with warding off vampires and demons. In Catholic tradition, holy water has the power to dispel demonic power from people and places. It is also said to lessen distractions during prayer, remove venial sins, and infuse people with the divine blessing to receive and administer the sacraments. Holy water is rooted in the belief that water is purifying and spiritual. This probably comes from water being essential to life and the thought that bathing can keep skin ailments at bay. as it is also a widely held belief that bad smells were the cause of disease. Washing and cleansing the body was also thought to prevent sickness. All this ties neatly into the spiritual cleansing and purifying properties of water in religion. Probably the best answer to the question, what makes holy water holy, is that it depends on what religion you follow. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. How would you like to get a deeper understanding of history, impress your friends, and predict the future more accurately based on past events? If this sounds like something you might be into, then check out the brand new Captivating History Book Club by clicking the first link in the description. To learn more about religious history, check out our book, Catholic History, a captivating guide to the history of the Catholic Church, starting with the teachings of Jesus Christ through the Roman Empire and Middle Ages to the present. It's available as an ebook, paperback, and audiobook. If you found the video captivating, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.